6 months ago, I started trading the opening range breakout strategy, and during that time, I tracked every trade. The question is, after 6 months, is the ORB actually profitable? This strategy is really popular and there's loads of tutorials on YouTube, but everyone has their own version of it. So I began by doing my own backtest. I went through multiple iterations, making lots of different tweaks and testing out ideas like ATR filters, trailing stops, EMAs. By doing this, I was able to create a very specific set of rules that I knew were backed up by data. This is how I was going to trade this strategy. First of all, the opening range is when the New York market opens. That means I need to make sure that my time zone is set correctly to New York. And I trade this on the 15-minute time frame. And then I identify the 9:30 candle, which is this green candle here. Because I'm on a 15-minute time frame, this candle includes the first 15 minutes of the market open. As soon as that candle closes, I mark out the high and the low of that candle, which gives me my opening range. I then wait for price to break outside of the range. And in this example, that happens immediately with this second green candle. The important thing that I'm looking for is that it actually closes above the range. And some will take the entry as soon as it breaks through this range. But I like to see confirmation of the breakout, so I wait for price to break out and then actually close outside of that range. It does mean that my entries are a little bit higher up, but it gives me more confidence in that trade. In this example, once this candle closes and the breakout is confirmed, I immediately enter at the open of the next candle. I place my stop at the bottom of the range, and then I target a 1.5 times profit ratio. I know that some people prefer to aim for bigger take profits like 2-to-1 or even 3-to-1, but through my backtesting, I found that for me, 1.5 times is the sweet spot. The other thing that my backtest found is that trades that enter later in the afternoon tend to be less profitable, and most of the successful trades actually happen within the first couple of hours of the market opening. And this gave me an additional rule, which is that I don't take any trades after 12 p.m. Which means that if this signal candle here actually came at 11:45, then I would have to skip that trade for the day because the next candle would open at 12 p.m. And that is my cutoff time for taking trades. With the basic strategy rules defined, I started trading in March, taking 9 trades with a win rate of 44% and coming out with a small return of 0.7% for the month. This was when the S&P 500 was tanking, so the fact that I actually made a profit during that time was reassuring. Then it was on to April, and I realized that because the strategy is so mechanical, it could be automated. So I began working on a trading bot. That was all completely new to me, and it was a steep learning curve. I learned all about my broker's API, I wrote necessary code to execute the strategy, and then figured out how to host the bot on a virtual server where it can run 24/7. This was a huge time investment, but it meant that I could leave the bot to do the trading for me, and I just needed to check on it occasionally in case it made any mistakes. Despite that focus on a trading bot, the strategy itself did really well in April, with 9 more trades, a win rate of 56%, and a gain of 3.3% for the month. With 2 profitable months in a row, I went into May with cautious confidence, and May turned out to be the busiest month yet for the strategy. The bot took trades almost every day, and it finished the month with 17 total trades, a 53% win rate, and a 4.8% gain, giving me 3 profitable months in a row. I did notice something this month though, which was that some of my losing trades were ones where the opening range was bigger than normal. This meant that my stop loss had to be bigger and the take profit was further away. That got me thinking about how I could filter out trades where the opening range is either too big or too small. I ran some backtests and found that using the ATR, the average true range, as a filter improved the results significantly. My strategy now had an additional rule. If the opening range was bigger than 3 times ATR or smaller than 1.25 times ATR, I would skip that trade. And with 3 profitable months in a row, I moved on to June. Things started well with my first trade of the month being a winner, but then everything went downhill from there. After that, it was losing trade after losing trade. I ended up with a streak of 9 losses in a row before things turned around and I got a couple of winners at the end of the month. I had 13 trades and an abysmal win rate of just 23%, giving me a total loss of 5.25% for the month. The bad performance in June really knocked my confidence and I was trading scared in July. Fortunately, my strategy rules were well defined and I stuck to them rigidly. July ended with 14 trades and a win rate of 43%, giving me a tiny gain of 0.66%. But after the loss in June, I was just happy to finish in the green. And that brings brings me to month number 6, August. My ATR filter worked well this month, skipping some trades that would have gone on to be losers. The bot was mostly trading by itself with minimal supervision, although I still had occasional bug fixes to make. But in the end, the month finished strong with 8 trades, a 50% win rate, and a gain of 2.36%. Finally, after 6 months, I can look back at the overall performance of the strategy and the trading bot. In total, I took 70 trades. The win rate was 44.3%, the reward to risk ratio was 1.44, and a total gain of 6.5%. So to answer the original question, yes, the strategy is profitable, but can it beat buy and hold? The S&P 500 over the same period returned 11.15%. This means that a buy and hold strategy would have produced a greater return with less effort. This was a disappointing outcome, but these are the honest and realistic results of trading the strategy. But the return alone doesn't tell the full picture. I also need to look at the max drawdown. For the ORB strategy, the max drawdown over those 6 months was 5.25%. The S&P, on the other hand, had a drawdown of 14.8%. That means that while the S&P 500 return was slightly less than double that of the ORB, the drawdown was almost 3 times as big. And that is important because it means I can safely scale up my position size, which would increase the overall return, beating buy and hold. I am also continuously tweaking the strategy, and I've made loads of changes to it that can improve the profitability. As I continue making further improvements, I can try and push the strategy into more profitable territory. A lot of the ideas and tweaks actually come from you guys in the comments, and I really appreciate that, so keep them coming and drop your ideas below. I still have a long list of tweaks that I want to test out on the ORB, and I will upload videos to show the results of those tests. Make sure to subscribe so you get notified when I upload those videos.